Say their name. If you want to help someone who's grieving in their life, say the name of the loved one who has passed away. I don't know why it's so taboo for people to think that they can't talk about the person that meant the most to them. And I'll tell you, if you want to be the biggest of blessing to somebody, the biggest tip that I can give to you, if you've never walked this path before, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say, but do not be afraid to say the name of the person that they lost, of their loved one. So if you want to be helpful, it may be counterproductive with what you're thinking. You know, a lot of people will say, well, I just didn't want to bring his name up. I didn't want to say his name. I'm like, you mean Quintin? The love of my life, my best friend, the one that I did life with for 30 plus years, that one? Please say his name. If you see me in public, say his name. And for the one that you know who is grieving, say the name of the loved one. And if you want to help in the process of their healing, friends, it is so powerful and impactful and healing for me when people not only say Quintin's name, but they share something, a memory, they send a picture of a throwback, they tell me a story about something that was impactful that he did in their life, or some story that's funny, something that brings a memory back, maybe a favorite memory that you have of that person. Say their name. Don't be afraid to talk about the person that they are grieving, because the one thing widows or people that are grieving, mourners, the one thing they're afraid of is that everybody's going to forget them, that everybody just moves on in their life. And I get it. I get it. I didn't get it before. I get it more now that life goes on. Whether I want it to go on or not, life is going on. The seasons, the leaves are showing me that time goes on, whether I want it to go on or not. And I don't want his name and his namesake and his legacy to be forgotten. So I want to talk about him. I want people to come up and say, hey, I loved your husband and this is why. Or, hey, your husband really irked me here, but then it made me realize the way he told me impacted me, and it will change me forever. Tell a funny story. Tell a fun memory. Tell something impactful and meaningful to that person that is grieving, that loved one, that they can carry with them as a treasure. Every memory, every picture, every story about Quintin is impactful. And I will tell you, it's not only impactful to me, but it's impactful to my children. I'll leave this by saying this. My daughter last night said to me, and she named a specific friend, and I rarely share anything about my children because their grieving is very private, and I want to respect that. But I know she would say this to somebody too, so I'm going to share this. She said, Mom, so-and-so friend, she's the only one in my life that's not afraid to talk about my dad. And I love it because she will say things that bring memories back that are so meaningful to me. And so I want to encourage you, if you're on the other side and watching somebody grieve, if it's from afar, if you didn't know their spouse, you can say something kind, about maybe a memory they've shared. But if you're close to them, don't be afraid of hurting their feelings or making them cry. It's worse to forget their name. It's worse to not say their name. It's worse to not talk about the person they are grieving. So I'm going to encourage you to tell them a story, share a throwback memory, telling something that they have maybe said to them or did in their life that they remember that impacted them and that they can share. That's so powerful. That is so powerful. I had someone share over the weekend with me, Quintin said this, and I'll carry that along with me and share that with my children. What an impact your husband made. And that literally, yes, it made me cry. Don't be afraid of emotions. I'm going to cry of the loss, but I'm also going to cry in joy of those amazing memories too. Say their name. Don't be afraid to talk about the person they are mourning, friends. Say their name. Give them a memory that they can cling and hold on to. Nothing feels better than having a conversation with somebody that has something to say about my husband that provides a memory that I can cherish. Say their name.